Students, today we'll be doing the revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities at the time of admission. At the time of admission of a partner. And as you all know, we are doing admission of a partner. We have already covered calculation of new profit sharing ratio, calculation of new profit sharing ratio. We have done the treatment of goodwill in various cases, treatment of goodwill at the time of admission. And we have already done treatment of accumulated profits and reserves. Accumulated profits, reserves and losses also. So now this is our fourth topic, revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities. See what happened when a new partner joins. Suppose A and B were two partners earlier. This is before admission. And C has joined the firm. So now after admission, there are three partners after admission. So after C's admission, the status of the firm has been changed now. But before admission, it is very much clear that the old old accumulated profits, reserves must be distributed among old partners in the old ratio because they belongs to old partners. So justification is that it should be given to old partners in the old ratio. So likewise, we will be following the same lines. Revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities. Here also we will be giving all the benefits or losses to old partners, because one of the biggest reason is that whatever increase in profit is there due to this revaluation, it is the efforts of old partners. And moreover, when old partners don't want that C should share the profits, then in that case, even if old partners are agree, C will not share their old losses. So it's a two-वे प्रोसेस. अगर ए और बी को नहीं लेना है सी को प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग में, देन सी विल नॉट बी अ पार्ट ऑफ देयर लॉस शेयरिंग. सो in this case, let us take one example. For example, when the A and B have started their business, let us say 15 years back, before 15 years, suppose they purchase a land and the value of this land is, let us say, 1 lakh. Now at the time of C's admission, means after 15 years, the value of land now is, let us say, 20 lakhs. So what will happen when the value of land increases? There is a profit. There is a profit of 19 lakhs. But this profit will be there if they are selling this land. But here point is, they are not selling the land. They are just updating the value. So if at the time of C, they update the value by 20 lakhs, and now if they'll be able to sell after C's admission, maybe after 1 year or maybe after 2 years, then whatever profit they'll be having, in that case, that profit should be shared by C. So let us study two conditions. In the first case, they have revalued the land and the now updated value of land is 20 lakhs. And in the first case, suppose they sell land after 2 years, let us say for, obviously the value will increase, it is for 25 lakhs. Now how much profit will be shared by C? Book value of the land now means after admission is 20 lakhs. This is, they have already updated the value, and now the value of land will be 25 lakh sale value, so they'll be able to earn a profit of 5 lakhs, which will be shared by all the partners. All means it will be shared by A, it will be shared by B and C. But what will happen? Let us assume the second case. If they are not updating it, if they are not updating it, means they'll keep on showing the land at 1 lakh, and when they sell this land after 2 years of admission for 25 lakhs, it means how much profit? It means they'll be able to earn a profit of how much? Let us see. So now they'll be able to earn a profit of 24 lakhs. So do you think C deserves this much profit? I know your answer is no. Why no? Because 20 up to 20 lakhs, it should be shared by A and B. But after that, whatever profit they are earning after admission, it should be shared with C. So this is the reason why new partner should not be given a share in the revaluation and reassessment of liabilities. Now let us study each and every condition one by one. What will happen at the time of revaluation of assets, and what are the various situations at the time of revaluation of assets and liabilities. And I told you, I am reminding you again and again, whether it's a change in profit sharing ratio, profit sharing ratio, or it's a case of admission or retirement of a partner, or admission of a partner, admission, retirement, or death of a partner. Whatever the case may be, the revaluation profit has to be shared. Revaluation profit, it can be loss also. Revaluation profit must be shared by old partners, or you can call it as old arrangement. In the old ratio. So what is old arrangement here? Old arrangement here in case of change in profit sharing ratio is old ratio is the old arrangement. Likewise in case of admission, this is old partners and old ratio. Likewise, old arrangement in case of retirement, this will be studying in the next chapter. Old adjustment in case of old arrangement in case of retirement will be the old partners, including retiring partners. So likewise, in case of death also, including deceased partner. So you will be this revaluation account is very important. You will be studying in all these important chapters. Though we have already studied this change in profit sharing ratio, and now we are studying in admission. It is there in retirement and there in the death also. So let us see the journal entries one by one. Journal entries relating to revaluation account, because sometime in the long question they used to ask journal entries. So you must be aware of all these journal entries, and you must make yourself expert in making the journal entries also. So the first journal entry is whenever there is a increase in the value of asset. So what will happen when there is increase in the value of asset? Whenever asset increases, you know the rule of increase in asset, it has to be debited, and whenever there is a decrease in asset, it has to be credited. So what will happen when there is an increase in asset? Increase in asset will be debited. So we'll give debit to asset account debit, and to revaluation account. And here I need to mention that revaluation account is a nominal account. What is the nature of revaluation account? Revaluation account is a nominal account. What is the rule for nominal account? If there is profit, it has to be, in case of profit, it will be credited, and in case of loss, it will be debited. So you must remember the rules of recording in revaluation account, because this can come in 1 markers. So I hope this entry is clear. So whenever there is increase in land account debit to revaluation, increase in building account debit to revaluation, increase in furniture, in the value of furniture, though it is very rare case, but suppose increase in investment, you can take investment account debit to revaluation. And the second is just opposite. What is the opposite of this? This will be decrease in the value of investment, decrease in the value of asset, not investment, asset. And what will happen in this case? If asset decreases, if there is a decrease in the value of asset, you know that asset will be credited and it will be a loss to us. Like for example, earlier our possessions were more, and now our possessions are, the value of our possession is decreasing. So it means that there is a decrease in the value of asset. So it's a loss to us. For loss, we'll be giving debit to revaluation account. Revaluation account will be debited to asset account. Asset will be decreased and revaluation will be debited. And here one very important point is that you will be giving debit or credit to revaluation with the change amount, only with the change amount and not with the full amount. So normally student used to commit a mistake. I have seen that students used to commit mistake here, and if your revaluation account is wrong, then continuously it will impact your partner's capital and balance sheet, because I told you that from this we are expecting 8 marks question. In that 8 marks question, you are required to prepare revaluation account, partner's capital, partner's capital account after admission I am talking about, and balance sheet. So this will be a long question, 8 marker. And if suppose revaluation account is wrong, because revaluation profit will go to partner's capital, then it will affect your partner's capital account, and obviously it is going to affect your balance sheet. So you need to be very careful while making all the journal entries or while making all the entries in revaluation account, and what is being asked in the question. This is also very important, because sometimes at the bottom of the question it is written you are required to pass journal entries, and student used to ignore that. In that case also you will have to suffer. So be very careful while dealing with this. So now let us do the third entry. Third entry will be related to increase in the value of liabilities. So what will happen if liability increases? If liability increases, it means increase in liability is credited and decrease in liability is debited. You know the rule? So if your liability increase means now you are liable to pay more. So if you are liable to pay more means you have to make you have to make more payments. So for more payments, it's a loss for us. So we'll give debit to revaluation account. So revaluation account will be debited to liability account. For example, if there is a increase in creditors, then revaluation account debit to creditors. Increase in bills payable, revaluation account debit to bills payable. So whatever name of the liability, you will simply write the name of that particular liability. And now you know the opposite of this. What will be the opposite entry? It means decrease in the value of liability. So decrease means It's a gain for us. So what is to be done in case of gain? Revaluation should be credited. So entry will be liability account debit. Sometime few creditors are not traceable or they have left India. So in that case, the amount which was due to them is a gain for us. Liability to revaluation account. And likewise, if there are some unrecorded investments, unrecorded assets, and now because it's an admission, I told you why it's necessary to record all these things at the time of admission, so that in future, if you sell those assets, in that case you will be able to give the benefit to the new partner, and only that much benefit he will be taking, that is occurred after admission. So you will be having two periods. One period is before admission, another period is after admission. So you need to clear all the profits and all the losses before admission between old partners in the old ratio. This is the simplest tool. So in case of unrecorded asset, sometime a particular, you don't know that a particular dispute is going on related to a land or related to investment, and when you start reevaluating your asset and liabilities, then you come to know that that particular asset belongs to you now, but it is not recorded. Recorded means its balance sheet value is nil, it is not there in the balance sheet. So if it is so, in that case you will record it. So how to record an asset means giving debit to asset account debit. You will write the name of that unrecorded asset to revaluation account, and here this entry will be little bit different, because here you will be writing the full amount or full value of unrecorded asset, because it's not a change. You want to record full value, so you need to be very careful while recording. And likewise, unrecorded liability. Suppose you come to know that salary of a particular employee has not been paid, and now you come to know, so the whole liability will be recorded now. So it's a loss. So revaluation account will be debited. Revaluation account debit to that particular liability account, and you will be showing full value in the balance sheet also, full amount or full value of liability, because simultaneously all these adjustments will be done in the balance sheet also. So while recording in the balance sheet, here we will be recording liability with the increased value. Increased value means original value of liability plus change, and here also original value of the liability minus this change. But here you will be recording asset with the full value, liability with the full value. Now sometime you need to pay some expenses to evaluator, because when you are doing admission, at that time you need to call an evaluator, and he will evaluate your assets and liability, and for that he may charge some commission or some expenses which you need to pay. So for paying those expenses, so journal entry for paying commission or expenses to evaluator who will evaluate your assets and liabilities. So in that case, it's an expense for us, so revaluation account will be debited. Revaluation account debit to cash or to bank account. So I hope all these journal entries are clear to you, and how we frame these journal entries: increase in asset, decrease in asset, increase in liability, decrease in liability, unrecorded asset, unrecorded liabilities, and commission. And there is one more entry, and that entry will be doing after the preparation of revaluation account, and that entry is related to the settlement of net profit or net loss on revaluation. So let us prepare revaluation on the basis of this. So this is the format of revaluation, and we have already done, if you remember, this format while doing change in profit sharing ratio. Particulars, debit amount, credit amount. Yes, so let us do the recording one by one. In this case, asset is debited, revaluation is credited. So this side, if you remember, this side is a gain side. Here we'll be recording all those items which increases your profits. So by asset means you are having a gain here whenever there is an increase in the value of asset. Likewise, by liabilities, whenever liability account, name of that particular liability, if there is decrease in liability. By unrecorded asset, and likewise here we'll be recording to asset whenever there is a decrease in the value of asset, to liability when there is increase in the value of that asset. So only change will be recorded. Change means if your asset, earlier asset was 1 lakh and now the value of asset is, let us say, 80,000. So you will be recording only the change amount. Change amount is 20,000. From 1 lakh to 80,000, it means the decrease in the fall in the value of asset is 20. So you will be recording here with 20,000, while in balance sheet you will be showing with the 80,000, and this is the old value. And here we will be recording unrecorded, not with the name unrecorded. We will write the name of that asset as liability. Like for example, if suppose there is some bill, a repair bill which was not recorded, so we will write to repair bill. Likewise, if some asset which was not recorded, so we write the name of the asset. If investment is not recorded, we'll write the name by investment account, not by unrecorded investment. So unrecorded liability will be recorded here, and likewise the posting of expenses will be to cash or bank. In the bracket you can mention it's the expenses relating to revaluation. And likewise the net profit. Now you will calculate the result, final result of this. Now there will be two options. I am explaining it here. So first option 1 will be, this can be, if credit side is more, sigma, so you will add this side. If this side is more than sigma, debit side, then what will happen? You will have profit. And this profit will go to old partners, old ratio. Old partners and old ratio. Old partners and old ratio means journal entry. What is the journal entry here? Now you can pass that last journal entry. Journal entry will be, in case of profit, revaluation account debit, to partners capital account. And likewise, if second option will be, if there is a loss, sigma debit side is more, this side is more than this side, there will be a loss. Again the same treatment for loss also, old partners and old ratio. Just reverse of this journal entry, partners capital account debit. Partner means old partners. Here also you will write old partners capital account debit to revaluation account. and you will be recording it here. This profit will be recorded here. To profit transfer to partners capital. You will write the name of the partners and divide in the old ratio. And here by loss transfer to partners capital, name of the individual partners in the old ratio. So either of these two, either this or this. So I hope this preparation of revaluation account along with the journal entries must be clear to you. And now we will be focusing more on the special kind of transactions which we come across during the numericals. So let us see the language, because language is very important. Whenever you are doing a particular numerical, its language is very important. So we will be putting focus on all those different languages which will be getting in the numerical. So let us take one example. For example, so I am writing here examples relating to revaluation of assets. So let us see what kind of transactions or examples will be given to us. Suppose there is a balance sheet, old balance sheet, in which the investment is given to you as let us say the value of the investment is 8 lakhs. This is given in the old balance sheet, and in the details additional information, let us see what kind of additional informations are there. First variety of additional information is that suppose there is an appreciation. It can be, you can take it land, that will be better. Instead of investment in land. So there is an appreciation in the value of land. There is an appreciation in the value of land by rupees 2 lakhs. Suppose this is the additional information which is given to us. So what will happen when there is an appreciation of 2 lakhs? So clear cut, it shows that now the latest value or updated value of land is 10 lakhs. So this 2 lakh will be clearly, in this case the solution will be, I am making a small revaluation account just to show you how this is to be treated. We will be showing this in the on the credit side by land account, and it's 2 lakhs. Only the change in the value, and the balance sheet, which balance sheet? This is a new balance sheet. We will be showing the value of land by old value plus appreciation, and the total is 10 lakhs. So this is how it is to be shown. Now see the second type of variety, and here the value of land is appreciated by let us say appreciated by 25%. The value of land is appreciated by 25%. So what will happen in this case? In this case we'll calculate 25% of 8 lakhs. So let us calculate 25% of 8 lakhs, 1/4, it will be 2 lakhs. Again the same thing, but in a different way it is being presented. Here appreciation, the value of land 2 lakhs, clear amount is given to you, but here the appreciation is given in terms of percentage. So in this case also treatment is same as in case 1. So by land we will be writing 2 lakhs, and in the new balance sheet it will appear as 10 lakhs. Now see further cases. case 3. All these cases are very helpful and it will remove, I think, all your confusion also. Now third case is value of land is increased to rupees 10 lakhs. It means the value of land is new, you can say that updated value of land is 10 lakhs. And what was the old value? Old value of land was 8 lakhs. So how much is to be written in revaluation? Just think over. In this case, you will not be writing directly 10 lakhs. The change in the value is 10 lakhs minus this, so it will be 2 lakhs. 2 lakh is the increase in value. And where to show increase in value? It will be shown in revaluation account. Which side of revaluation account? Credit side. Buy land rupees 2 lakhs. So it can be given in this way also, that the value of land is increased to. Now it can be given in percentage form also. Value of land is increased to 125%. Same thing is written in percentage now. Increased to 125% means the earlier value was 8 lakhs. Now here you need to calculate. 125% means it is now 2554 the 2 lakhs. So it will now be 10 lakhs. So again the same treatment will remain same. You will write on the credit side of revaluation account as buy land rupees 2 lakhs. Now see the fifth situation. Land is valued at rupees let us say 10 lakhs. I am taking all those examples in which the result is same but the language is different. Land is valued at 10 lakhs means the earlier value, this is the updated value, and the old value was 8 lakhs. So again the result is same but the language is different. So student used to get confused in this. So you need to be careful while seeing the transactions. Now next there is one more transaction which used to, adjustment you can say, which used to confuse the student. This is undervaluation. Undervaluation of land rupees 2 lakhs, or land is undervalued by rupees 2 lakhs. So what is the meaning of this undervaluation of asset? It means the same thing. Earlier it was 8 lakhs but the 8 lakh value is undervalued. Undervalued means valued less. You can say that this 8 lakhs is valued less. So what happened if it is valued less? It means it has a more value. So the treatment will remain same. In revaluation you will write 2 lakhs and in the balance sheet you will write 10 lakhs. So if you closely observe all these cases, so you will be able to understand. And one more important point which I want to mention here is that which is related to at or buy. If at is given to you, like for example we did here, is valued at, it means they are giving you the updated value. If at is written, they are giving you updated value and you need to calculate the difference. then only you will be able to record the difference in revaluation. But if by is written, it will clearly show the change in value. Change in the value of, it is applicable to liabilities and even to asset also. Change in the value of asset or liability. So it can directly be written in the revaluation. If this change is positive in case of assets, it means increase in asset, so it will be recorded on the credit side. If there is a negative change in the asset, it will be recorded on the debit side.